I'm in Point Verdun and I need a new set of wheels.
Just gonna take a squirt, and I'll get her out to you.
I hope that you were not in the car when you did that.
Looks like it's letting on.
4 wheels and an engine. You're set.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I actually wanted more than that, but I like this car. It's good. It gets up and goes. Vroom, vroom, come on, out of my way, out of my way, out of my way. Out of my way, get out of my way, get out of my way. I don't know why I went into slow-mo. I wasn't going fast enough to require slow-mo. Now, this turn, however, is going to require some slow-mo, I do believe. Oh, do I not make... Oh, that was close. Woo! I was a little bit concerned there. Wait. Where do I go? Why did it lead me around to that side if the entrance is over here? Can I get in here? I have to break it. Wait, is this the distillery? This is not the distillery. Is it? I don't know. We're gonna go ahead and break it.
Whiskey everywhere, and not a drop to drink. Maybe a drop every now and then.
Every now and then.
I'll not leave thee, thy lone one, to pine on the stem. Since the lonely are sleeping, go sleep thou with him.
You already finished with Barbieri?
Barbieri? No. By a long shot. Already told you. They slow. As for you, show up like Lazarus himself. Name thinking of myself. This jockey bastard is either one of the luckiest sons of bitches that's ever lived, or the kind of man that invites rotten damn luck. So goddamn sure it was the latter. I have to admit, I was wrong about you.
You can thank me by calling me by my name.
Die. Lincoln it is, then. It was funny. Things get taken from us. We convince ourselves we have to go out and inflict the pain on someone else. A little mend what's busted up inside of us. But it doesn't. No.
It done.
Spent my entire goddamn life scratching and clawing at anyone who came along. Even if they were there to help. Look where it fucking got me. What's the sense in changing? Only way is forward.
Now that Irish Point is back under your control, I'm gonna need you to bring in as much money as you can. Going after Marcano ain't gonna be cheap.
And I imagine you'll be wanting your cut of the proceeds.
That's right.
Can't say I'm a fan of someone looming over me. But a deal's a deal. I asked Nikki to manage those moonshine runs, but she can't bring them all on her own. That liquor hauls in a fair amount. We'll talk to her. She's around here somewhere if she ain't out quail hunting.
Quail ain't in season.
Oh, for her kind, it's always in season. Yeah. Oh, you'll excuse me. Oh, I have to go to see Mr. Barbieri. He's probably getting a little lonely. Lonely.
Explosions at the salvage yard? Shit.
Let's go see what Nikki's optional missions are like. Nikki, Burke's daughter and lieutenant, has taken charge of the family moonshine business now that the butcher's in the ground. Alright, where is she?
I hear we could be on the moon,
Oh,
but I
that's
don't
right.
even bother going there for my meat anymore. The quality's gone way down.
Go upstairs.
I need to get out of the city soon, I think.
I need to go upstairs. Where are the
Bother
stairs?
going there
There's
for
the
my meat
stairs.
anymore. The quality's gone way down.
Oh, we just crashed. Alrighty then. Well, like I said, Bug Fables, The Everlasting Sapling is next, so I already got it downloaded. That was weird. Crashed, I guess, loading the cutscene with Nikki. Hopefully it doesn't do that again. While we're waiting for it to load, another reason that I started this stream is that I'm really bad about starting games and not finishing them. Mostly because I tend to play like 6 games at a time. Because, I don't know, attention span, or whatever reason. I'm not going to try to figure it out. The point is, streaming it and also recording it sort of forces me to finish a game. Like, I can't just decide, I don't feel like playing this thing. Because, theoretically, there are people who are watching it or will watch it on YouTube or whatever who are going to want to see how it ends. And so I feel like that gives me an obligation to finish games, which is good for me. Because spend the money on it, might as well finish it, right? Although that's not really it's not necessarily my view on it. I look at games as entertainment, just like a movie is entertainment, or going out bowling, or miniature golf, or top golf, or Any of that sort of stuff is entertainment. If I spend $60 on a game and I get 12 hours of entertainment out of it, that's $5 an hour, right? That's cheaper than a movie. Pretty sure it's cheaper than a regular price movie anyway. It's cheaper than most forms of entertainment. There are games that I have gotten hundreds of hours of entertainment out of, and I paid $60 for it. That's like pennies an hour. You can't find another form of entertainment that's that inexpensive. So, while yes, I think it's a good idea to finish games, if they're worth finishing, I don't think not finishing games means you didn't get the value. The value is in the gameplay, not in the finishing. If you only enjoy a game because you finished it, I don't understand. I mean, I've played plenty of games and I never finished, but I got a lot of enjoyment out of them while I did. Oh wait, why are we so far away? Hold on. Okay. So did it crash when I was supposed to talk to her, and now I don't get the cutscene? Well, that stinks. Hopefully it wasn't anything of great importance. Way down here again. But yeah, case in point. Game I never came close to finishing, Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I played that game for 60 hours, so $60. $1, I got $1 an hour entertainment out of it, which is, I mean, very reasonable. I have no complaints. However, I ended up, as I tend to do, finishing all the side content that I could before doing any of the main content. So, I never... I may have taken down one Oblivion gate. I think there was one that was sort of required before you could really get to any of the side content. I could be wrong. It may not have been any. I know it was no more than one. And played for 60 hours. I played the Dark Brotherhood missions. You know, I played all of the I think all of the guild missions. Like, you know, the Magic Guild, the Thieves Guild. Like, I did all of those. All of the side content I could find. Never really got into the main game, and after 60 hours, I was sort of burned out. Like, okay, well, this was fun, but I'm kind of tired of it. I tend to always play the Stealth Archer, which, in the Elder Scrolls games, if you're not aware, is a pretty OP build. That's not why I play it. I play it because I enjoy that playstyle. But it turns out to be a pretty OP build. Especially in Skyrim. Oh my goodness. But even in Oblivion. And then you would also, you know, when you had to get them close, you would do backstabs. But stealth was the biggest. And I remember the last thing I did, or close to the last thing I did, was I went on the mission to get, I think it's called Mehrunes Razor, Mehrunes. It's a really awesome dagger that's great for assassins and stealth characters. And once I had that, the game was a cakewalk. And that treasure, that piece of equipment, sort of ruined the game for me. I mean, I'm not disappointed that I got it. I was glad I got it because it was a cool weapon. But nothing, at least nothing in the part of the story that I was in was a challenge. Now, part of that is because I did all the side content out-leveled the story, for sure. But also part of it was because I got this really amazing weapon that, in combination with all my side content and out-leveling the main game, just made it easy.
Luckily, I was paying attention.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I was probably playing on normal mode. I'm pretty sure Oblivion had difficulties. Oh, that didn't work out. And I know I wasn't playing on because I didn't play games on hard then. I just played games for the entertainment, and so I would play it on normal or even easy if I just wanted to see what the story was about. And so that could have made a big difference too. But after 60 hours, I wasn't interested in finding out. But, like I said, that's a good example of how I paid $60 for a game, didn't complete it, but feel like I certainly got my money's worth. And then that sort of counterbalances the games that I bought that I'm like, oh wow, this is horrible. Not what I expected at all. Game, it doesn't play well, half broken, you know, sort of thing. And I won't give any examples of that because I don't feel like it's necessary for me to criticize and degrade games like that. People work really hard on those games. There are a lot of reasons why games might not turn out the way they intended. I mean, look at, well, no, I can't say look at such and such game because that immediately says that I'm pointing out a game. But I'm sure you know of even recent games that there's no reason to believe the developers didn't have every intention of making a great game, and it just didn't come together. So yeah. But back to my original point. Streaming is definitely going to cause me to finish games. Now, not necessarily 100% games. I seriously doubt I'm going to go back to either of the Mafia games and try to find all the collectibles. There's no point to it. I think I talked about this in a previous stream. Unless there's an in-game reason to do so, meaning I get some really sick loot or something, or some kind of great power, there's just no point to searching for collectibles, or searching out all the collectibles, in my opinion. Now, some people may have fun doing that. More power to you. But to me, it's just busy work. And 9 times out of 10, or 99 times out of 100, there's other games I would rather start playing than continuing to play this one game because I still have collectibles to play. I don't find any interest in that. You get wrong button. Okay. Are you going inside? You're going. Okay. Or you should stand there. Okay. Well, then I'm gonna come over here outside of your. Oh wait. There's something this way. It's just. Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, collectibles. So yeah, unless the collectibles offer you in-game rewards of some kind, whether that be special equipment or weapons or a special ability or whatnot, I'm not going to go do that. I will search for them in the course of the game, like, you know, I'll go like, oh, the objective is this way, well, let me go this way. I just pointed and there's no camera, but I think you get what I'm saying. But I'm not going to finish a game and then go back to the open world and search for a bunch of stuff. In some cases, I'm not even going to do that if there's supposedly a good reason. One of my favorite games indicated that, oh, if you find all this collectible stuff, you get something for it. These guys are just standing there completely oblivious to me.
Got no need for any of them. Last time I ran into the city, you know what I saw? Some nigger and his white girlfriend walking down the street, holding hands, like they was proud.
Okay. And turns out once you found all these collectibles, which there were maps for, thank God. What you got for it was, I don't want to say worthless, but not worth a whole lot if you had already finished the game. Now you could say that, so maybe that's my fault. Maybe that's my fault for not getting the maps earlier and finding the collectibles earlier and all that. But I finished the game without the things that collectibles gave me. It wasn't like they weren't unique things that collectibles gave me. It was extra if I remember correctly, it was like extra resources, things that you could find other places, just maybe not in that quantity all at once. But nothing like, oh, here's a special gun or special armor piece or what have you. No, nothing like that. So, unfortunately, a game I really enjoyed the last few hours of, at least, it probably took me a couple hours to find all the collectibles, weren't really that rewarding. So, yeah, that's how I count for what collectibles. You used to be able to get me with collectibles. You used to just, I was hooked. Oh, I've got things to collect. I have to find them all. Until I realized that it was pointless. It's really weird because gaming, like video games, are essentially a loop. For example, Borderlands. You kill guys to get guns that are better than what you have, so you can kill guys that are harder than the guys you killed to get guns that are better than the guns you have, so you can kill guys, either harder guys or kill them faster. And then there's a story. Okay, great. As long as the story's good and the gameplay is good, I'm good with that. The loop's fine. I enjoy looters just as much as anybody. Not about anybody, but as much as the average gamer, I would say. Maybe a little more even. But I tried to do the like the Ascension. That's not what it's called. I forget what they call it, but the content. Once you finish the game, you can unlock the harder difficulty and replay the game on that difficulty, and that's where the game really starts. And I tried that, but it became apparent very quickly. The story is the same. All I'm doing is getting better loot to kill guys faster, to get better loot to kill guys faster, to get better loot. And it's like, but there's no end goal to this. It's not like, oh, well, if you get a certain piece of loot, finally, you can kill this boss that has where there's a real, the true ending or something like that. And so I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I like the gameplay, the shooting is fun, but there's plenty of games that have good gameplay that I haven't played yet. Why am I playing this game again for no real benefit? And some of you may resonate to that, some of you may not. And either way is fine. We all play games for our own reasons. But just for me in particular, I don't see the point of that. And it was really pointed out to me by, actually it's the same friend whose wife is the doctor. Because I had convinced him to play or to try Borderlands. And he's not interested in story, so the gameplay was the only thing that was going to
Don't like
make it
folks
for him.
skulking around our business.
But he asked me, you know, just quite honestly and frankly, you know, so what's the point? I just, you know, kill guys and then I get a better gun and kill guys and get a better gun. And he was like, is there an end to this? And I was like, well, no, not really. I mean, especially if you don't care about the story, there really is no end to it. There's no reason for it. And so while I enjoyed stories of games, I had that to enjoy about it. I had to admit, once you had the story, once it was no longer the story that was compelling you to play, there wasn't a lot of reason. And it was exactly what he said. You're literally, why can I not? It's gonna be bad.
Huh?
Oh, good. You're just getting better loot to kill harder guys, to get better loot, to kill harder guys. And eventually that's just sort of pointless. That's not fair. It's not pointless. For me, I felt like there were better ways, gaming-wise, I could be spending my time. There were other games I wanted to play. Why am I playing this game constantly when I've already seen everything it has to offer? Story-wise, you know, it's just better loot. And most of it was just numbers. Like, that's... Am I supposed to jump this truck out of here? I think I am. Okay, that works for me. You know, most of it's just higher damage numbers. It's not even like unique mechanics are opened or anything like that. So yeah, I like to finish games, but some games are not finishable. Like, you know, Slay the Spire. There's no finish to that game. Yeah, you can win a run. You can beat the heart. You can beat the heart on Ascension level 20, but the game's not finished because it's a roguelike, and you start over and it's a different run, and it's not the same thing you saw, and you might get different cards. So it's a different experience. You build on what you've learned, but it's a different experience. That's not the way Borderlands was. 1, 2, or 3. And I played them all, and I liked them all. But when you started the game over at a harder difficulty, I would say maybe you saw some new variations of enemies that you had fought, but there wasn't new levels. There wasn't, you know, a new map to enjoy. There weren't, as far as I know, like new powers you could use that you didn't have access to before. That's one thing about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is part of the Tomb Raider trilogy, the most recent three, that I will be playing at some point on this channel because I adore those games. Is when you beat Shadow of the Tomb Raider, you unlock the opportunity to access powers or abilities, I guess is a better word for it, that were not available in the first playthrough, which is pretty cool. Now, it's a long game, so I was not ready to just like start it over immediately. I played it all the way through when I first got it, and I played a good portion of it on a New Game Plus, where I could use those abilities, and it was fun. But other things came out, and I started playing those, and it just sort of fell by the wayside because I had already played it once and finished it. But they definitely gave you a reason to play it again. You know, and some games give you a reason to play it again because you can't see all the content. Like, I will say this about Borderlands.